Welcome to The Beam, where curiosity stirs conversations, taking us a step further into the future we desire. I'm Sunas Nathaniel, and here we bring you the issues that matter, the voices that challenge, and the people who really inspire. Today, before we get into this very insightful conversation, we're going to be taking a quick spotlight to show you some of the things that have been going on in the tech sector. And when we come back, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the digital economy and how it interfaces with social media. It promises to be highly engaging. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Tech experts gather for this training aimed at demystifying artificial intelligence and showing how it can boost productivity and create new income opportunities.
If teachers, they know this AI, what is AI, how they can use AI, and this will improve, enhance, ameliorate, and advance their skills. And if the teachers are very, very professional, skillful, talented, and crackerjack, you know, the next thing they will pass the knowledge to students.
Facilitators of the training believe artificial intelligence is a tool for solving real-life problems, not just a technical concept.
Artificial intelligence is the future, and it's actually applicable in every sector: finance, technology, medical sector. Its application in education. It's actually very, very important because in the year 2030, AI is actually going to take control of everything.
We have exposed the participants to various AI tools that will make them earn income. For example, we talked about content monetization, in which I think everybody hears about it daily on social media. So it's something that's actually you can do, everyone can do it, and then earn the money. We expose them to content creation and content monetization.
For some participants, like primary school teacher Juliana Chijioke John, the training is timely.
Despite the fact this artificial intelligence is being brought, they should not relent on other things. They should also be using other things to learn, but also to teach the benefit, the advantage of this AI to children, so that you not make them to be lazy.
Others, like final year cybersecurity student Nuhu Aliyah, AI is a strategic academic tool.
My advice to other students is not to rely solely on AI. Start what you can do, like build an idea on your own, and then you can give that to AI to polish it and finish it.
With stakeholders pushing for a ministry for AI, the foundation believes that Nigeria can create new jobs, regulate responsible use, and compete with global technology leaders. The federal government has announced its plan to achieve 95% digital literacy among Nigerians by 2030, with a specific target of training and empowering at least 30 million citizens by 2027. The Director General of the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, Kashifu Abdullahi, represented by the agency's Director of Stakeholder Management, Aristotle Onumo, made this known in Abuja at the grand finale of the Tech for Development Digital for All Challenge 2.0.
Our vision is to ensure that 95% of Nigerians are digitally literate by the year 2030. But the federal government has given us a midterm vision that by 2027, we should ensure that 70% of Nigerians are digitally literate.
Everybody needs to upscale. You just said about AI. If we don't do anything, the world has moved. Some people are using AI already, and we are still in the introductory stage.
All right, welcome back. Nigeria is sitting on a demographic gold mine, one of the largest youth population in the world. But the same youth bulge can become a ticking time bomb if we fail to equip time for digital future. The questions are very urgent. Are we preparing, or are we sleepwalking into a global economy that will leave us behind? My guest today has been wrestling with these questions for a while. Aja Excel, visionary strategist, digital entrepreneur, and ecosystem builder. He's the founder of SM Fest, that's a social media fest, one of Africa's fastest growing conferences of technology, creativity, and business. And as CEO of Silicon Africa Technologies, he has helped businesses harness digital strategy and branding platforms to drive real growth. Mr. Ajayi, welcome to the beam.
Thank you so much.
Yes. I mean, there's so much there when it comes to digital future, social media. We're talking about the future economy, the economy that's already now.
Yeah.
But we need to get into it. We have one of the largest population. The question is, what are we getting right and what are we failing at when it comes to turning that demographic into an advantage for digital competitiveness?
I will begin by saying that the population of Nigeria, which is the youthful population, is not a burden. It's actually a gift. It's actually a very high potential export commodity, if well channeled. As a matter of fact, the talents in Nigeria is it's above average when you compare them to other people in the world, right? That's why Nigerians go out and they do amazing stuff. So such a population, if well channeled, if well upskilled, it's an export for Nigeria. I'll give you a cue, right? A country that looks like that was India, right? With so large population. And what happened was that the country decided to upskill their youth, and India became the export capital, talent capital of the world, right? All around the world, if you're looking for talents to do anything in tech, India becomes your first go-to point. And this is what Nigeria can do if we're able to upskill our youth population, Yes.
Yeah, but you see, it's becoming much of the buzzwords, We need, what are the practical steps that needs to be taken so that we can plug into that digital economy? Where are the biggest blind spots? Like I asked earlier on, what are we getting right now? And what do we need to get right so that we are really keyed into and plugged into this digital economy?
I would say that for what we're getting right, I see what the Minister of Digital Economy is doing with the GMTT and a number of other skill-up programs. That is a step in the right direction. But that needs to be scaled up because a large population of young people in Nigeria needs to partake in such programs, And again, I would say that on the other side of it, where I would say we're not getting it so well, is the mindset that Nigerians and Africans have towards technology. Where we are waiting for the big technology to come from the West before we can begin to consume, especially that mindset of consuming technology and not being part of the creation process has been an issue. So while we tackle the mindset, we upskill our population, a lot of changes will happen.
Yeah, I want you to really go into that part where you talk about the mindset, because from your experience when you're handling the SM Fest, that social media fest, what are the systemic gaps that you see, in that way, and how do we change this mindset that you're talking about? What really needs to change? How do we go about it? What are the possibilities there?
All right, so I would say that the mindset I just talked about is that consumption mindset, where someone is waiting for the next AI tool to jump on, to subscribe to it. You're waiting for the next social media platform to jump on it, without thinking of how can I be the creator of the platform that the rest of the world can come upon, right? Such mindset has to be changed, and it wouldn't change just by scaling up the population. One of the things I see that we don't have, let's go practical, right? It's incubation hubs. There is a difference between going for a training program and going back home. Countries that have progressed have developed incubation hubs where you wake up in the morning with people who are doing the same thing you're doing.
But the government can actually say that they're actually starting incubation hubs, somewhere in Lagos and a couple of places.
It's just a fraction of, Lagos is just a location. This should be spread across the country, right? There is someone in Enugu who needs incubation hub to be able to interact with people in the same space, right? We're in Plateau, in Jos, that kind of stuff. So Lagos is already doing so well. Imagine we'll have 10 Lagos in Nigeria. Think about that. Imagine we'll have 10 locations that have the energy that Lagos has in Nigeria. That is a lot, right? So if we have incubation hubs, what I mean by incubation hubs is where people come. You are staying here for like the next 6 months. By the time you're coming out, you've mastered the skill set you've come to learn. And the fact is that because you are a designer, a product designer, someone is a developer, another person is a UX writer. By the time you wake up, you want to do a task. You have the next guy who is also going to be supporting what it is you're doing. By the time you guys are done, a product will emerge from that space. If not as co-founders, but you would have had practical experience from what you've come to learn, right? Because someone has a product that they are developing while you are the designer. This guy is the script, the US writer. By the time you're done, you're coming out of that training depot as a refined, a solution-driven individual.
All right, we were talking about this a bit off camera, and it's one thing, especially when it comes to social media, which one of the very big spaces where you play in, right?
Yeah.
One of those things we've not seen is how young people are. There are people who are cashing out, but we're not seeing it in the scale in which people in America and some other places in Europe can say, hey, we're making so much money, right? The question then becomes, what needs to change? I mean, you practically gave me an answer, but I really want to hear that part of it again, because I want to know what really needs to change so that if I'm a creator right here in Nigeria, I should be able to earn something very close to what's there over there. I mean, we were talking about how Trump says, hey, you Facebook, what are you giving us this year? You, what are you bringing to the table? How do we get to that space?
I would say while a creator who is over there will earn so high, there is a more technical part of it. Earning in social media platform is a function of advertising, right? So if you have brands who are willing to advertise, who are willing to pay to advertise, and they show up on your content, then you get some payment, right? But maybe in Africa, in Nigeria, people are not yet paying for adverts to promote their brands, right? That much. A few persons are doing that. But over there, people are competing, and the more there is competition for the space, the higher the amount that is paid for that space. That is why some Nigerians who are creators target those who are outside, because that's what they call RPM. RPM is like where you have want to get paid per 1,000 impression. Are you getting this now? So some of Nigerian creators, there are a lot of brands are beginning to embrace social media ads to promote their products and services. That is actually what Facebook is sharing with the creators. When these product owners advertise, Facebook collects a fraction of the money and pays the creators a fraction for being on the platform to create the content. So you wouldn't blame the creators who are in locations where they get more payment for the same impression that Nigerians are getting. That's why a Nigerian creator can actually get 10 million views on their content on YouTube and make maybe $1,500. But someone who is targeting the US audience gets the same 10 million views and makes about $15,000. So what's the difference? The fact that companies over there are willing to pay to promote their products and services.
Does this have anything to do with the enabling environments, the infrastructure, or the policy that we have in Nigeria? Does it have anything to do in that sphere?
Not really, because this is like an open platform, right? So it's not a function of the policies within, because a Nigerian who has a US audience on their content will make the same amount of money.
So, but are you saying then that as a content creator, I should target the US and limit my audience? I mean, my contents, beyond what Nigeria can really, take in and what Nigerians can really devour, right? Should I start looking at how to make sure that people in the US put their eyeballs on my content? Is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't say that that's what you're going to be doing, but if you have what it takes to get attention in diaspora, very good.
Okay, so I mean, some argue that Nigerian creatives lack that discipline, and the structure. How do we shift from that raw talent to sustained impacts in the digital economy?
I would say that most creators, just a few of them, have left the survival zone. Where you're doing this stuff, make I just hammer small. Just a few creators have come to the point where they are now creating content for the long haul. A few others are doing it for the short term. So that is where I would say, if you want to begin to create content that will last and give that kind of impact you want, you have to think the long-term perspective of it.
All right. You're watching The Beam, a place where the old is reckoned with, the future is interrogated, and power is held to purpose. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Just a short break. All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, I'm in conversation with Mr. Aja Excel, strategist, entrepreneur, and founder of the Social Media Festival. That's SM Fest, right?
Yeah.
Today, we're not just talking social media and technology. We're talking about the gaps, the possibilities, and how Nigeria can prepare for that digital future. Now, let's look closely at the SM Fest. How does it move beyond just a networking event to actually equipping Nigerians, individuals, and businesses, to thrive in that digital economy? How does that happen?
As a matter of fact, at the SM Fest, we are very careful to select those who come to train at the SM Fest, because we ensure that we have people who have results, whether in business, on the digital space, or lifestyle. Those that come to the SM Fest, you can see their practical results, and they're able to share how they're able to achieve their results with our audience. So at the SM Fest, we focus on people who can be able to share us tools and strategies that participants can leverage to get the results that these guys already have as well.
So in all those years of experience, basically when it comes to SM Fest, do you still think that there's a possibility of Nigeria being locked out of that digital future? And if there is a possibility, what would it look like?
I would say the possibility of Nigeria being locked out is quite slim, because young Nigerians are taking digital skill by themselves. They already know the opportunities are all there glaring. It's not a hidden information anymore. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people are actually going out there and doing things by themselves. But I feel that much more will be done if the support is given, right? If the government is able to even provide a much more enabling environment, power supply, internet broadband, all of these that can make it easy for Nigerians to be able to key into the digital economy.
So recently, when it comes to social media jobs and possibilities and potentials, some Nigerians have complained about how the name itself have really shot them in the foot, in the sense that they don't get certain jobs, especially social media wise, when it comes to getting jobs from abroad and all that. Is this something that you have been monitoring closely lately?
You mean Nigeria?
Yeah, in Nigerians who are operating from Nigeria are not able to get some of those jobs, those online jobs and everything that happens within the ecosystem,
Essentially, I would say that Nigeria is a great country, but we have very bad brand reputation out there. That brand reputation is what has limited most young Nigerians from competing with their mates at the global level, right? Where you show up on Fiverr, on Upwork, and you say you're a Nigerian, and the person who wants to hire you draws back, because if you're, Nigerian guy, can he do the job? Is he a scammer? And all of that. So I think that Nigeria needs to rebrand. There has to be this intentionality in branding the country again, so that young Nigerians who are doing things genuinely won't be losing the opportunity that they can have because of a bad branded country.
Sometimes the problem can also be the youths not having that ethical background. So how do we train these youths, online to be more responsible when it comes to digital space? Is that something that you guys over there at SM Fest are thinking about this year especially?
Yeah, one of the SM Fest topics we handled last year was from comment to prison. How your comments can land you in prison on social media, and that is like social media ethics. I will also say that it is good that Nigeria embraces social media technology and not fight it. Social media, what we need is teaching people the right way to use it. If we do, it becomes a tool for our economy to grow. But if we don't, do you know what it means, like to say, oh, no social media in this economy? It's crazy, because most startups, businesses get their first clients on social media, right? So what we simply need to do at the SM Fest, we ensure that we have topics that cover ethical use of social media and how people should be able to present themselves.
It's beautiful you said something like from comment to prison. And then the question is, Nigeria runs on a lot of crews most times. As young people, we like to say that Nigeria runs a lot of crews. How much cruise is too much cruise when it comes to social media these days? How much cruise is really is too much cruise? And where do we draw the line in real sense?
As a matter of fact, your social media comment sections are actually open for your content and comments. But how you make the comments, what you write there decides whether it is free for you or it will land you in jail, right? So as a matter of fact, people make comments on social media and some get away with it. But you know that sometimes those comments can get to someone else and they say, you're not going to go with this one. And they look out for you. So what we advise during our event is when you're making comments, think about knowing the fact that the internet does not forget, right? So whenever you're making a comment, making a post, sharing your thoughts, make sure that the content and the post you're sharing, you are able to defend it in the next 5 years, the next 10 years, because the internet will always.
You know, I was going to ask you that. It's beautiful you said that, because how do we make sure that you're not even stifling what I want to say? How do we make sure that as much as I want to be safe, I'm not just being put back into a box without saying what I really want to say then?
I wouldn't say we are not free to make comments or share stuff or share our thoughts on social media. But I'm only saying that there has to be limits, right? Because some people feel, oh, you can just put a camera and say what it is you want to say. Why that is good, you know, to express yourself, to express your thoughts. We're also saying don't use the opportunity to infringe on people's rights, you know. When you say, oh, this product is not so good for me, don't say this product kills people. You need to come and tell us how it kills people, you know. But you can say your mind, but we're saying be mindful of the use of language. Even on Facebook now, there are some words you can write. Yeah, so it's just some of those much more regulatory activities are there to checkmate how people are using social media.
All right, finally, before I let you go, what's your vision, you know, for Nigeria's role in that digital global economy, and how do platforms like yours, you know, fit into that journey, basically?
Frankly, I would say I'm visioning a day that Nigeria will be the talent hub of the world, right? Where the global brands are looking for talents, and they could look for one boy in Enugu who is coding. And he can stay in Enugu and code an app for people in London to use. That's the vision I have. And I hope we're progressing towards that. It can take time, but I know that very soon, that will be the reality of Nigeria. And at the SM Fest, we're actually pushing that narrative, telling young people that they can stay here in this country and create products that can be used globally.
All right, Ajay Excel, thank you very much for bringing your vision and clarity to the Beam today.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, that's the much we can take on the Beam today. We'll be leaving you with our top 5 videos of the week. I am Sunes Nathaniel, and as always, we urge you to stay curious, stay informed, stay engaged, and keep beaming your light where it matters the most. May this nation continue to rise and flourish. Bye for now. This week, we begin our countdown with a clip in which thousands gather at the Rivers State Government House for Fubara's return. Coming forth on our list, we hear the newly restored Governor Fubara pledge to cooperate with the State Assembly and assure supporters of running an inclusive government.
As your governor, I accepted to abide by the state of emergency declaration and choose to cooperate with Mr. President and the National Assembly, guided by my conviction that no sacrifice was too great to secure peace, stability, and progress of Rivers State.
In third place, we watch as Governor Fubara ceremoniously arrive in Port Harcourt. Coming second on our list, Nyesom Wike fires back at Tambuwal and labels him and Atiku betrayals.
He said the trust I took in terms of leadership. Saying why not? These are people who have been consistently inconsistent.
And in first place this week, we have a full interview with the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike as he addresses the Rivers Emergency Rule and replies former ally Tambuwal. That's it on our countdown today. Join us next week for more.